Is this you? Yes. Hello. Hi.
Let's change that. You thought the Mushroom Cup was easy, did you? Think again. These shortcuts change everything, from hidden rails to crazy trick chains that slice seconds off your time and hours off your life. That shortcut is seriously messed up. But hey, you've gotta try, and it will be so worth it because when you use these on your friends, you won't be keeping them for very long. Oh. Let's start with Mario Bros. Circuit. And what do you know? It's one of those tracks where we're leaning to one side right out of the gates. And the reason for that is because hidden behind this pile of tires is a rail that you can access using one of your mushrooms. Trick if you dare, but I feel safer to just ride it out and then perform a right trick onto the very edge of this red and white section of the track, so I don't fall into off-road. Come up onto this rail and neutral trick by pressing R without touching any direction on the joystick when you're about to pass this rock. Once you're off the rail, press and hold R again without touching any direction so you can begin a charge jump upon landing. Jump up onto the left rail this time and perform as many tricks as you can, including this left trick on the corner. End on a right trick to set you up for the next turn. After taking this massive turn as tight as you can, trick onto this right section of the track. And then trick off the glider. You want to aim for the rail on the very left of the track now. The best way I was able to pull this off consistently was to slightly move left once I entered the glider, and then let the glider do the rest of the work, landing me on the rail. But you figure out what's best for you. Upon landing, forward trick, and once you get to the very edge of the rail, perform a left trick to land on this green grind rail, right before the finish line. Then, it's just as simple as tricking off of it, and using your mushroom into the starting shortcut to repeat the process, assuming you're not playing an intermission track, in which case, this is the end of the race, and you learned all of that just to use it once. Thanks, Nintendo. Crown City actually isn't too tricky to learn. The difference between most runs and the world record run are a bunch of charge jumps and tricks off of vehicles that you have to be on perfect pace to pull off, which, let's be real, isn't likely. So this is how we're going to handle this track. Take these 3 boost panels on the right, and then aim for this grind rail. Perform a charge jump to get on, and just ride it until the very end, where you'll perform a right trick onto this other rail, and then immediately trick off of it so it doesn't pull you to the right. When you get to this red grind rail, drive onto it, trick forward, left trick onto the wall, and then right trick towards the end of the stairs to set yourself up for the mushroom shortcut coming up. Shroom through the shortcut, and then aim for these rails in the middle of the road. Aim to get 3 tricks on each of the rails. After the first turn on lap 2, you want to get on one of these grind rails and down trick a couple times. Do the same over all of the upcoming ramps. A special thanks to those of you who left comments on my Bowser's Castle video, asking why we down trick off most ramps. The reason why we usually want to down trick is to reduce air time, because it's faster to drive on the ground than to be in the air. Once you get to this glider, aim for the rails, and again, try to get as many tricks as you can on them. On lap 3, take these 2 mushroom shortcuts, one after the other. When you get to this straightway, start charging a charge jump as you pass these boxes. You want to angle yourself such that you're driving almost into the wall, so that when you release your charge jump, you manage to get onto the rail. Here comes my favorite shortcut on this track, and it's the last one too. Stay on the grind rail until the very end, then left trick off of this tree, land on the wall, and then right trick back onto the track. So cool. Then make your way to the line, you're done. Okay, we're not going to be covering the entirety of Whistlestop Summit like we did on Crown City, because the majority of this track is actually spent on rails. You want to trick as much as possible on these. However, there are a couple shortcuts I want to cover. First up is this shroomless shortcut over the off-road. Now you can use a mushroom through here, but there is no harm in practicing this in case you don't have one in an online race. This shortcut begins from way back here on the rails. Get as many tricks as you can, and after your final trick, begin holding R to charge a jump. Now hold your charge into the off-road here, longer than you would usually want to drive in the off-road, then release and get onto this left wall. Then right trick onto this right wall, and left trick one last time to make it back on the track. Amazing! Now for the shortcut we've all been waiting for, the Whistlestop Summit Ultra Shortcut. Hop onto this rail and perform whatever tricks you like. There are a number of ways to set up for this shortcut, but we're going to trick right onto this yellow grind rail, then forward trick onto this next yellow rail. Now you see the black part of the rail with the yellow bits on it? As you cross over the third yellow bit, you're going to perform 2 left tricks onto the side of this bridge. The easiest way to do this is to just keep holding left and hit R once, then again. Keep holding left once you have landed on the wall until you get to the very top. Look at how I'm at the very edge of the wall before I begin to trick. This is super precise timing, but you'll know you're doing it right when you tend to fly off the wall rather than get the trick too low, because you need a lot of height to perform the rest of this shortcut. Perform a right trick and hold right as you clip this green safety sign and land on the rail up here next to the crowd. Hey guys, right before the rail slopes down, right trick onto the wall, and as soon as you land, left trick so you can land on this rail. This will take you around the last turn super tight and get you to the end of the lap. Now it's also worth mentioning that you can perform this trick at the start of the race, but I couldn't get it super consistent and there isn't much more to it than you can see here. Forward trick off of this part of the pipe, forward trick again onto the wall, ride it up, and then right trick a bunch of times to land on the rails. Last but not least, my friends, we have DK Spaceport. There's nothing super exciting on this track, I'm afraid, so enjoy the spectacle and follow these simple tips. At the start of the race, trick off of these 2 ramps. Take the turns as tight as you can, of course. Take the glider onto these ramps up here. And do some left tricks to cut this corner. Now every lap or section of this track begins with one of these grass patches. If you have a speed item like a mushroom and can take it, by all means. Since I'm showing you this in time trials, I only get 3 mushrooms, so I went for the coins and saved my mushrooms for later. On lap 2, perform tricks off of these bouncy things and collect coins. On the last bouncy pad, come up here to collect 3 more coins and trick off of it. On lap 3, you want to do literally nothing. Just avoid the barrels until you get to the yellow ramp, which you would down trick on both sides of. On lap 4, come up onto these rails and perform as many tricks as you can. On lap 5, you don't need to touch any of the walls, just down trick off the ramps. I know it looks cool to trick off of the walls, but it's actually slower than just taking the track this way. Finally, on lap 6, perform a trick here and here again on this little bump in the road, and avoid DK's massive barrels. Do one final trick at the end here, and you're done. If you found this video helpful, or even just entertaining, I would greatly appreciate it if you could drop a like and share your journey down in the comments. I'm a small YouTube channel trying to build a community with you guys, and any engagement and support you can give me is massively helpful and would mean the world. Your support and positive feedback on my Bowser's Castle tutorial was 100% heard, which is why I'm aiming to release a video every week for the next couple of months, covering each of the cups starting with this one on the Mushroom Cup. Make sure to subscribe so you can catch those when they come out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.